It was just ridiculous. It's not often that you're watching the WNBA or that I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, I've just never seen this before.
Picture this: a commissioner intoxicated by power, a fan base burning with rage, and three fearless players, Caitlin, Sophie, Lexi, locked arm in arm as the entire league teeters on the edge of collapse. Right now, the WNBA is drowning in its darkest scandal ever. 200,000 fans have officially pledged a boycott for 2026. And the numbers aren't slowing. Kathy Angelbert stormed out of league headquarters, panic written across her face. Sponsors are calling relentlessly. Adam Silver is seething. The league is one heartbeat away from total annihilation. Welcome to the story they never wanted the world to see. If you're watching this, you're seeing WNBA history unravel in real time. Smash that like, hit subscribe, and comment. Boycott 2026 if you stand with Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexi. It all ignited when a players group chat leaked. Kathy reportedly told Caitlin Clark to back off from outside commitments, golf included, but she didn't stop there. Sophie and Lexi received the same ominous warnings, suspensions, benchings, even whispers of termination hanging over their heads like a storm cloud.
As for what Engelbert is alleged to have said to Collier, if she actually suggested Caitlin Clark should be grateful for what she makes off the court, that's preposterous. Did you miss the Iowa years? Clark is the Tiger Woods tide that lifts all boats. And we know this show is proof. The highest rating we have ever had followed one of her games at Iowa. The WNBA has benefited from her presence more than the other way around, even though this year for Caitlin Clark was essentially lost to injury.
The players were frozen in disbelief. Caitlin whispered, "We can't even play golf, we can't even live." For the first time, the league's brightest star felt trapped, cornered like prey. But Sophie and Lexi wouldn't let her stand alone. "If they touch you, we walk too," they vowed. Three sisters, three teammates, three icons the fans would defend to the last breath. And Kathy chose the absolute worst possible moment to ignite a war. As the threats leaked online, chaos erupted. One single tweet from a fan exploded to 1.2 million views. "Suspend Caitlin and we suspend the WNBA." Reddit caught fire. Instagram collapsed under the outrage. TikTok went nuclear. The fans weren't just mad. They were finished. Memories of fake fouls, targeted hits. Caitlin benched for protection. Every injustice resurfaced. And then the bomb dropped. 200,000 fans formally signed a boycott for 2026. Official. Verified. Growing by the second. It wasn't just fans. Families boycotted. Kids boycotted. Entire communities refused to watch. This anger wasn't fleeting. It was generational. Sponsors saw the numbers instantly. No calls. No negotiations. They picked up the phone. "Lose Caitlin, lose us." One rep didn't mince words. "This isn't a league problem. This is a Kathy problem." And just like that, League HQ began to drown in emails, warnings, and a storm of panic.
And the high tide lifts all boats or whatever, basically. Like, if you buy into this, everybody is going to eat. Yet you had people fighting tooth and nail the entire season, not wanting it to be this way because other people weren't getting flowers, or she was getting too much attention, or she gets a special whistle, or I'm gonna check her off the ball here just because. And then her teammate cheers for her for throwing her on the ground. It didn't get better. And it's disappointing to me because it's not every player in the WNBA. And I'm sure that there are many players who are happy to have her in the league. And it's like, if it was my league and somebody was coming in and bringing millions of people, like, I would be excited about that, because you know what? That's a chance for me to impress millions of people who weren't watching before. And there's a lot of women in this league who don't have that kind of envy and jealousy and this kind of like secret club mentality that they only want certain people to be a part.
And hundreds of companies began pulling funds. Others froze payments. Some threatened to walk away forever. The WNBA quickly realized this wasn't a scandal. This wasn't a controversy. This was a full-blown financial heart attack. Every decision Kathy had made was bleeding the league dry in real time. When the boycott reached 210,000, Adam Silver finally snapped. He stormed into the office, slammed a binder onto the table and barked, "Fix this or step down." Silence fell like a weight. Kathy froze, her face drained of color. "Why are you punishing players for simply living their lives?" he demanded. "Why target Caitlin? Why threaten her teammates?" She stammered, offering feeble excuses. He cut her off cold. No suspensions, no firings, no stopping golf. Then, in a moment that would go down in history, the assistant commissioner whispered something to Silver. He shook his head, turned and walked out. No discussion, no negotiation. Pure, unfiltered frustration. Fever HQ was a war zone. The players' phones buzzed relentlessly. 200,000 boycotts. 250,000. Caitlin's eyes were glued to the screen. Sophie grabbed her hand. Lexi wrapped them both in a hug. Caitlin whispered, "They're doing this for us." Sophie replied, "Then we stay strong." Lexi added, "Together." Meanwhile, the WNBA office unraveled. Employees cried at their desks. Phones rang endlessly, emails exploded, sponsors froze in shock, executives hid. Kathy shook, powerless, realizing the unthinkable truth. You cannot fight your fans. You cannot threaten your stars. Control is an illusion. By day's end, including families, the boycott surged past 1 million. Kathy's chair was empty, her office door locked. She refused to answer. The league had lost everything: sponsors, credibility, fans, money, stability, all because she underestimated the people who truly owned it.
Would be holding the players back from saying, yes, we agreed to an extension. Let's try to iron out this deal so there is no lockout. Right? They'll still be able to negotiate if there's a lockout. However, players won't be able to head to the facility. They won't be able to get treatment. They won't be able to train with the team, with the staff. So there is some things to lose if there is a lockout. Sources: WNBA offers players extension on CBA deadline. The WNBA has offered players a 30-day extension to continue negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement, sources told ESPN on Tuesday. An extension before the current CBA expires Friday would allow both sides more time to negotiate a new deal.
That question, which raises some sensitivities of rivalries between players. In the case of Angel Reese, who's just had to shut it down because of a wrist injury, Caitlin Clark, who's continuing to play. Rivalry that goes back to their college days, presumably, where I guess some trash talking entered in. But now it seems on some social media channels to have taken a darker turn, a more menacing turn, where race has been introduced into the conversation, where sexuality is sometimes introduced into the conversation. How do you try and stay ahead of that, try and tamp it down, or act as a league when two of your most visible players are involved, not personally, it would seem?
All of this chaos, all of this collapse, stemmed from one catastrophic mistake, threatening Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexi, the very players she should have shielded. Today, the WNBA didn't just lose athletes. It lost something far more valuable: trust. And trust is everything. If you believe the fans were right, type boycott 2026 and demand justice. If you stand with Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexi, hit like, subscribe, and join the movement, because this story is far from over, and the fallout is just beginning.